Let's start with the topic. Um, about OAuth flows. Salesforce supports multiple OAuth flows because different integration patterns require different level of trust, different types of client, right? But not all flows are equally secure. So the goal here is to understand which flow to use when and which ones to avoid. As of 2025, so we have the web server flow. Web server flow is I'd rate it at one of the high security OAuth flow. So it is used for like when you want as a user you want to authenticate to an external application. So it contains of two steps. Firstly, you need to authenticate. The first step includes getting the authorization code, and then with that authorization code, you can access that. You can request for the access token. So you use this whenever you have a backend server because it supports both refresh tokens and with refresh tokens. So let's say you authenticate to an application using the OAuth web server flow. Salesforce returns a refresh token. So the refresh token stays with the application so that you don't have to log in again and again. And this I would rate this, as I mentioned, as one of the most as one of the securest flow. Then we have the user agent flow. User agent flow I rated medium security. So this is for browser only apps, like single page applications. It's a bit less secure. The reason behind it is like tokens appear in the URL, which means they can be picked up from the browser history or logs. So you should only use this if you absolutely can't use the web server flow. Web server flow, as I mentioned, it's a two-step process, while the user agent flow is a single-step process. Then the client credentials flow. Client credentials flow is like machine-to-machine integration. You don't need a user in between to log in or something. So we need to follow the principle of least privilege. So in my last slide, where I'll be telling you some of the integration best practices, security best practices, we'll deep dive into the principle of least privilege. So it is and this flow is ideal for calling middlewares or like external applications from Salesforce. And it's kind of like a replacement for the username password flow, which was prior to it, and which is like security wise not good. Then we have the JWT bearer flow. JWT is JSON web tokens. It's perfect for backend systems that already have some strong identity. I work in a fintech company, so fintech data is like needs to be really secure. So like if we need to integrate different applications, we JWT is based on certificate based authentication, and certificate based authentications are always better. But like it depends on use case to use case. So if it's yeah, like sometimes client credentials flow is easier to it's a bit easier to implement, and it's like competition between JWT and client credentials. Then we have the refresh token. Refresh token, as I mentioned, like it helps the application to give you experience like to give you a good experience without you having to log in again and again. It may helps in maintaining long-lived sessions. It's kind a refresh token flow. It's an attacker can maintain persistent access if they are able to get the refresh token. So the application storing it. So with right now it's Salesforce, or right now it's like whatever application will store it, they need to have that refresh token securely stored. Then we have the device flow. Device flow, it's like which does not have a UI. For example, Salesforce CLI. You want to integrate, say, you want to authenticate to Salesforce CLI. So you can use device flow, and it is secure for some use cases, but not ideal for other high trust integrations. Uh, then username password flow. This is a legacy flow, as I mentioned, and this is like most it's deprecated, and with the coming of external client apps, you don't even have an option to create a username password flow. The reason behind its deprecation is we actually send the credentials of the user, and sending the credentials is not considered a good practice. And like if let's say you have a connected app using it, I would suggest moving to the latest client credentials flow. um, yeah.